Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois, and it's time for another live stream. Today is Friday, January 26th, 2024. Today is merch day. Not my merch, other people's merch. There's been a couple of things that I saw online that was available for purchase from my friends, people that you probably know too. And so I ordered a bunch of it, some of it, and now it's here. And also to commemorate merch day, I am wearing my Philly Bowden Love the Grind t-shirt as well. I don't know if you guys have checked out her most recent video that she and Daniel put out. It's quite excellent. And it's doing well too. I think it's been out for like 4 or 5 days, got like 50,000 views, about 20 minutes long. A really good one. You could save it for maybe the treadmill or something like that. That would be a really good time to watch that, you know? But I enjoyed it while eating lunch today, and I thought it was quite excellent. So we'll get to some merch. But first, let's say hi to everyone listening in on the podcast, on the audio-only version. I think we're caught up. Now. So now you have all the episodes from this week. So you're listening to this either maybe later Friday night or Saturday morning, something like that. You know, maybe Sunday. But, you know, now you should be caught up. But you might now be in a backlog, though, because I just dumped a bunch of episodes on you. You know, so you know, it's okay. It's okay. We got the weekend to catch up. And a quick programming note while we're on the topic. There is going to be a lack of live streams next week because I'm going to Orlando. I'm going to be going to a bunch of different events. I'll talk a little bit more specifically about some of the ones that I can tell you about that are going to be there. And I'll be vague about the things that I can't tell you about, but we'll talk about that today too. But Monday and Tuesday we'll do live streams, and then after that I won't see you guys live stream wise till the following week. Yeah, I think I get home Sunday night, so we'll do another one on Monday after that. So yeah, but that's what it'll be. So you got time to catch up if you're on the podcast and your audio only version, and you're trying to catch up because now I just dumped a bunch of listening hours on you. But for everyone else that's listening, watching this later, but not live, the LBNLs, welcome to you guys as well. I saw Runner Will was checking it out while he was on the treadmill. I do think that this could be a really fun one to have on the treadmill too. I'm enjoying that more and more podcasts now, running podcasts, are making video versions of their podcast. Usually it's just like a straight, you know, maybe one camera angle, maybe 2 camera angles of the people talking. And on the treadmill, that's going to be enough, you know. I think over time, things will step up a little bit, you know, and there'll be more visuals to kind of keep your attention. But in terms of like, I got an hour that I got to get through on the treadmill today, or I'd like to get in an hour of running on the treadmill today, throwing on a live stream, a podcast, later but not live, could be a lot of fun. And if you're doing that right now, let me know. Well, you don't have to let me know in the comments right now because you're running, but maybe after you're done, let me know in the comments how it went. All right. Let's see here in the chat. Vanessa Martinez, where'd it go? Oh my goodness, where'd it go? There it is. Vanessa Martinez says, I did my unboxing earlier, a new pair of Brooks Ghost spring colors. Oh, spring colors? We took a look at what color. Oh, I got like the Chicago Bears colors for mine. I don't know if that's a spring color or not, but I was just doing my content calendar for the next, I've got my content calendar kind of mapped out till the end of February. The Brooks Ghost review will be in there, don't worry, but it's not coming right away. The Glycerin 21 is going to come first, but a lot of that stuff's not going to happen, you know, definitely until not after the marathon trials, but it's coming. I do like the Glycerin. Where is it? Right here, this one. I've been enjoying it. I'm not sure if I like it more than the Ghost Max, because the Ghost Max is quite nice, but it might be better than the Ghost Max. I don't know. I think the styling is better on the Ghost Max, but the Glycerin, pretty good. Frank says, anyone surprised that Walmsley didn't make another run at the Olympics? I'm not that surprised. I feel like he kind of like got whatever it is he was trying to prove out of his system. And then, you know, he did the whole thing where he, you know, moved to France to focus on UTMB and all that stuff. So I wasn't surprised that he didn't make a comeback. Yeah. Not that he needs to make a comeback. I'm surprised that he didn't make a return to the roads for the Olympic marathon trials. Amichite says, I'm sitting listening while sitting in the car line for school pickup. Well, hopefully it's only a very short amount of time that you're going to be listening, but that could be tough. Calvin says no live stream mid-run following the hopefuls. No, I mean, I'll be filming the whole time. I think Drew Whitcomb and I are going to run around a little bit. We have some plans. Well, that reminds me. I gotta message him. I don't know if it'll be easy if Drew's here. Drew, if you're here, can I stay at your mom's house on Wednesday? I'm coming in a day earlier, and I guess I could see if my hotel could extend the trip, but Drew offered that I could stay at his mom's house with him, not just with his mom, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so I'll be getting done. Okay, let's talk about the schedule. And then we'll get to this question by Edgar the Hobby Jogger, our guest coming back. And then remind me, we got to talk about the Path Project's pants. All right, so the schedule, I'm getting there Wednesday night. There is an event that I think I'm still under an NDA. So one brand not only sent me stuff under embargo, but also had me sign an NDA, which is fine. I'm very familiar with NDAs. And the whole subject of non-disclosure. But yeah, and I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about what I'm doing on Wednesday night, but I'm doing something Wednesday night. Then Thursday, there's an event with Rabbit. I'm not part of it, but I am planning on going because I'm going to go. Because why not? Meet some friends. I need to run anyway. It's a little bit early though. 8 a.m. at Track Shack in Orlando. There's a Rabbit run with donuts afterward. Donuts and coffee afterwards. You have to RSVP. Go to Orlando Track Shack. I think it's in their event section. It's capped at 100. I'm guessing because of the donut situation. I don't know that I've had like particularly delicious donuts in Orlando before, but these are not going to be like Disney World donuts. They're going to be like from a donut shop donut. So I have high hopes. So that's that. In the afternoon, I told you guys to leave Thursday afternoon open. 4:30, there's going to be a relay podcast. Me, I think, who's going to be there? I posted about it in my stories, but there was a little bit of a scheduling snafu. We're not sure if a sixth person that's not in relay is going to go. But 5 people from Relay will be there. Me, Matt Chittum, Tommy Runs, Peter Bromka, and Lindsay Hine. We'll do like a live podcast. Talk about what we're excited about for the weekend. I think there's going to be a lot of news that happens between now and next Thursday. So there'll be lots to talk about. And we'll have a better sense of the weather, sense of some of the conditions, all that stuff. So we'll do that. Space is very limited on that one. I think the best place to probably find the link for that is on the Relay Instagram account. Relay, I think it's Relay Site or Relay Podcast. Has an R logo on it. While you're there, feel free to follow. And then that's at 4:30. Podcast for a little bit, then meet and greet time. And you'll want to stick around because then, and this is not an event I'm affiliated with, but it's one that I'll stick around for. At 6:30, there's a Believe in the Run event at the same place, at Track. All these things are happening at Track Shack. So you just stay there, stick around. We'll get some selfies before. Stick around for the Believe in the Run event. I think they're giving away gooders. If you need more gooders. And then, do some running. So we could do that. That's Thursday. I can't tell you what I'm doing I'm doing something Friday. So the things that I'm vague about is that with it being the marathon trials, there's a lot of new shoes that are getting ready to come out. A lot of new shoes that I think will have to be World Athletics. Well, I don't think they'd have to be for sale yet, but in any event, shoes that the runners are going to be racing in at the trials that may or may not come off embargo at the trials that I'll have a chance to go take a look at. So I'm doing a lot of that kind of stuff on several days. And then Saturday will be the race. I'm going to run around. I know there's like watch parties and stuff. I'm not super interested in that. I want to run around. Now I know it's a looped course, so you'll see athletes like multiple times, but I'm trying to see what we can do. You know, me and Drew are a good pair. We ran around for New York together, and I thought that really worked out well. So that's it. That's my schedule. All right. Edgar the Hobby Jogger wants to know, will guests be coming back at some point? I want to, but here's like a bigger, broader plan that I'd like to have. I'd like to have a producer for this show, and I don't know if that's something that I do like once a week or what, because obviously it's something that I want to pay someone to do. But like, I want to have someone that can, like, I don't want the guests to have to sit here for the entire hour and be on a live stream for an hour. I'd love to be able to bring in guests for like 20 minutes, And so that means someone else has to like make sure they're here, that they can hear them, all that kind of stuff. And that's a lot of stuff that I don't want to deal with myself. And so I'm thinking like, I don't know, maybe it is something I could deal with myself. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think it all through because I want to make it more like a regular talk show where like guests come in for a little bit, but they don't have to sit there the whole time. They can sit here the whole time if they wanted to, So that's what I'm trying to figure out, wrap my head around, like what people do I need? How much will it cost to pay those people? And then how do I get other people in here when a lot of the people that you and I want to talk to have regular jobs? And so I'm trying to figure a lot of that stuff out. And admittedly, I'm not moving quickly on it, but that's why there's been a gap in the guests appearing. You know what I mean? So there's that. Going with Oliver says, I got my rabbit jacket yesterday and I love it. I bought it only because Gofuzi was flossing it. The rabbit jacket's good. I have a couple of the rabbit jackets now. Are you talking about the black one, like the rain layer one? Yeah. I hope that's what you're talking about. All right. Josh Peregrino says, can we get a group 6x6 minutes threshold run in Orlando? For real, wife and I would absolutely join. So I'm starting training for my next marathon. Someone had asked a question earlier, I don't remember who did, about what my next marathon is. I don't officially have a bib yet, but I'm working on a plan for London. I'm going to go to Boston to watch. And then I want to go from Boston to London. And then we got to figure out what we're going to do in London that's fun. But also I want to run fast in London. And so I've got a lot of things that I'm planning for the build and that may or may not. And I'm talking about like getting some kind of sponsorship dollars to help fund all this stuff. So I'm trying to work a lot of that. Not me. You guys know I hired a management company. So they're working on that stuff. But a lot of those conversations are kind of on pause given that the trials are this weekend or next weekend. So, but I'm going to start training as if I am. I do need to get in a workout while I'm in Orlando. And if there's a place we could do it where I wouldn't be like leaving people, you know what I mean? If there's like a little loop or something. Is there a little lake? Oh, that's true. I think there's a little lake that maybe we could all do we could all be there for the same workout, but that way everyone can run their own paces. That can be, because if it's by time, I could just yell, like rest, go, that'd be kind of funny. But I don't know if you guys are interested in that. Let's follow up on that on Friday. Will be a good workout day for me, I think, schedule-wise. But it'll be like in the middle of the day, so it might be hot. But if you guys are interested, bring your Kofuzi Run Club jerseys. We'll do some sort of workout, maybe. Let's talk about it Monday or Tuesday. All right. And then the pants. Where is it? Was it Eric that want to know about the pants? So with the pants, Path Projects has two kinds of pants. The first year when they released the pants, you could buy them in like small, medium, large. There was like ranges. The ones that fit me well but are a little bit baggier and I usually need to wear a belt was when I got a medium. The second year with the Path Project pants, you picked waist size, like where I buy in jeans. And so I have a size 30 waist on that one. So, and those fit me perfectly. There's like the right amount of stretch, there's the right amount of room. I don't need to wear a belt. They're really comfortable pants. I like it. Mark Peterson says, we're going to need a megaphone. You want me to run with a GoPro and a megaphone? I'll get a whistle. A whistle will work, right? Yeah, whistle. Alex Herm says, we should try and break Matt James' mile in the sky record on the flight from Boston to London. Okay. Are we going, Alex? We're doing this? We're going to do a fish and chips relay maybe after the race? Okay. Yeah, I think we could do that. Steve says, and Steve is a local, says Lake Eola downtown, just running circles around that. Okay. All right. Let's pencil that in for Friday. I don't know what time my schedule is. I have a meeting at 9, I think. We'll figure something out. CV76 says dry heave. Yeah, there'll probably be a lot of dry heaving because I'm not going to be used to running in the humidity or the heat. So yeah, I'm sure I will. Kenom says, question, Heiko. I've been running the RBC Brooklyn Half this year, my first official race. I'm debating if I should run in the Nimbus 25 or the Endorphin Pro 2. I'm 5'10", 220. I would go with the Endorphin Pro 2. That's a half marathon. I feel like that's a really great half marathon racing shoe. I would take it out for some workouts as you get ready to see how you feel in it for longer periods of time. That would be the only thing. Because at some point, comfort may become an issue, right? And so, like, there's a certain point for some people, for some runners, and since it's your first race, you might not know where that point is for you yet, and that's why I think like taking them out for some workouts would be really helpful. Where you're like, ooh, this shoe may be aggressive and fast from like a race perspective, but it's really uncomfortable for me to be in right now, and it's hurting, it's distracting. You don't want to have that kind of thing, you know. Cosmic Final Michael says, I wonder how many brands are dropping a new shoe between 2.1 and 2.3. I don't know how many are dropping, but embargoes are, it's going to be a busy weekend for embargoes. You know what I mean? Stevie76 asks if I have press credentials. I do not. I intentionally did not request them because it was very NBC is involved, and it became very much like a if you wanted press credentials, you could only take photos and no video. If you did video, though, it had to be of athlete interviews after the race in the mix zone, and it had to be in front of a logoed backdrop. If you wanted interviews with any of the athletes beforehand, which I don't, but if you did, you had to coordinate through USATF. It was very onerous, and I was like, I don't need that. I'd like to be close to the finish line if I can. I don't think that I'll be able to get close to the finish line this year, but I'll do the best that I can from my super fan perspective. Alex S says, yo, Emma Bates not running the qualifier. I didn't see her name on the athlete list. Apologies, you already covered this. She announced a couple weeks ago that her plantar fascia tore when she was running Chicago. She stepped into a pothole. I think it was already hurting her, but stepping into a pothole is going to make it worse. And I think she says it tore there, and she's been trying to rehab it and get back into shape, but she's not going to be able to run. She is on the start list for Boston, however. And from what I understand, she's running workouts, from what she said in her from what she said in her posts. All right. Martha says, Track Shack must be the running store in Orlando because everything's happening there. They are the host for the trials. They're the organization that's putting it on. So like in Atlanta, it was Atlanta Track Club. I don't know who, it was the New York Roadrunners when it was in New York. I don't know who did it in LA. But they're the ones putting it on. So yeah, a lot of stuff are going to, yeah. JC wants to know how many donuts per invitee should be available. I'm not sure. I would say, if you can get into the Rabbit event on Thursday morning at 8 a.m., feel free to help yourself to a donut. That's what they're there for. And then I would say maybe wait to make sure everyone that has gone on the run and when they come back, people of all paces, get a chance to have a donut. And then if there's extras, which I have a feeling there probably will be, then help yourself, Calvin wants to know if I can name the brand or is that also NDA? I don't know. I don't like to play around with those kinds of things. And so, as far as I'm concerned, if you've asked me to embargo something or if you've asked me to sign an NDA, it's as if I know nothing about it. So that's kind of how I feel about it. I don't really like hints. Danny Burton wants to know, who's your pick to win the men to win the trials? I think Conor Mantz is the clear favorite. You guys will, I don't know when it comes out, but we did a draft for relay and we picked the men cross country style. So we each picked 7 people. Sorry, my texts are going crazy, but we're figuring out some details for our podcast. Remember how I told you that there was like a miscommunication about a guest? I think it's going to be just the relay group. So it's just the 5 of us. But, and I don't know how to turn off my text notifications on my laptop. So that's what that beeping is. Sorry. Is there a way to silence the options? No, I don't know. I think that should be the end of it. My pick for the men win the trials. I think Conor Mantz is the favorite. My first 2 picks to preview what I did on the relay draft, I was able to pick up Clayton Young, who Conor Mantz has been training with, and is one of the other person on the U.S. team who has run the Olympic standard. And then Nico Montañez is my number 2 pick. So I picked my team a lot like I picked like fantasy football. I mean, it's a fantasy draft, by the way, anyway. So I picked it the same way of like, maybe there are smarter picks to have made, but I pick people that I know, and I don't think Nico's a bet. I think Nico's got a shot. He's also been training from time to time. Well, I think he's been training because he's in Mammoth, but I've been seeing him. I think that they're communicating, at least like Clayton and Nico are, and I just saw the 3 of them do a workout together on Instagram in Florida. So, Going with Oliver says, say hi to OQ keyword Jennifer Pope, a rabbit runner from Dallas, if she goes to the rabbit event. All right, I'll keep an eye out for her. I will. And Steve says, hopefully I can track you down Saturday, say hi in the chorus. I'll be at the Orlando Whiskey and Bourbon Festival Saturday night. A win-win. Oh, there's a Whiskey Bourbon Festival Saturday night. Okay, Steve. I'll take that as an invitation. All right. There's a lot of texting going on. It's a big group chat. A lot of stuff happening. Sorry. New Petra says, I wonder if Cockney rhyming slang would be a way to circumvent embargoes. Yeah, I mean, it'll all come out, and you guys can probably figure it out. Anyway. Matt Legrand says, Yoko, what's going on? What's going on, Matt? Good to see you. And Steve says, the Whiskey Bourbon Festival is a mile from downtown. You're welcome to come. I can get you in. Okay, maybe. But because it's not like Saturday night. Like, I don't know what the plans are. No one's invited me to any. I don't know if there are after parties. I get the sense that a lot of people might be leaving Saturday. But I've booked my flight for Sunday, so we'll have to see what's going on Saturday night. Steve says this is the after party. Yeah, I mean we can make it the after party. Calvin says, "Co, did you yearn for spaghetti last night also?" No. You know what I've decided I'm just going to start doing? I'm going to start making, we have sun butter, like sunflower seeds, but in a peanut butter form, but we don't have peanut butter in our house. I'm just going to have that and jelly sandwiches. I like it toasted. It's kind of savory. It's kind of sweet. And then cereal is one that I usually get to because it's just fast. I also decided that I'm just going to always have some spaghetti, like cooked spaghetti, not sauced, but just spaghetti cooked, or some sort of pasta on hand, and a lot of just white rice on hand anytime. So if I get hungry, I can just like throw some sauce in there, maybe some cheese, and eat spaghetti when I feel like spaghetti. I just got to have it on hand. You know what I mean? Because I've been hungry. I've been really hungry. And part of it is that I've been busy during the day, and then I kind of don't eat. I don't eat well or regularly enough during the day, and then it catches up to me at night. But also I've been running more, so, I mean, this hopefully will be a 70-mile week this week, just ramping back up, so yeah. So I got to figure that out. A lot of responses, though. I posted about how I wanted to eat spaghetti in bed. A lot of people were interested in whether I found a way to do that. John Burchett Sharp, JBS, says, "I like pasta with a little bit of butter and garlic." That's how my daughter likes it too. Or I'll just cook pasta with some like Romano cheese grated on top. She likes it. She likes really, really plain food. All right, let's get to the merch for today. All right, first, I'll go with this little package. This is one that I'm really excited about. Speaking of Rabbit, by the way, it's something from Rabbit. Oh, this is different than what I was expecting, but in a good way. All right. Let me open it so you guys can see what it is, but maybe you guys can tell what it is already. There is other merch from another friend that I'm waiting on, but I think it's going to take a while, so I wanted to just do this today. But do you guys remember Laura Green put out some merch with Rabbit? She was smart enough to do pre-orders and also have Rabbit handle all the distribution, so she could even do it internationally. But a runnable shirt. I thought this was going to be like a regular Rabbit shirt, but this is not quite the PR collection shirt material, but it's kind of like that. It's really... I think this is going to be really nice for running. Because they have like the Easy collection. That's kind of like a run shirt, but kind of like a lounging around shirt, But then if you've had any of the PR collection stuff, it's a lot thinner and very perforated. And that's kind of like what this is. But I don't know if you can see how like perforated it is. Can you see that? Yeah, you can kind of see through it. But yeah. Nice. And it says runnable. And, it's got some topographic designs. Trail runners love anything with a topo on it. But, yeah, cool. It's like a greenish gray color. I'm not sure. It's nice. I like it. Martha says it looks like the Speedies. It could be. For a second there, I was like, did I order a singlet? I don't remember ordering a singlet. But yeah. Sean wants to know, wasn't it Bill Rogers who would fall asleep after eating dinner in bed in the thick of training? I think so. I would love to have more detail about I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to be going to Falmouth this year, but if I do, I'm going to try to track down Bill Rogers and get like a definitive statement on, or maybe I'll just see if I can interview him at some point. Talk about his eating during training, because you guys remember it was in they changed the name of it now. It was like Steve Magnus, his podcast with Brad Stolberg, and now there's the third guy. I always forget his name. But now the podcast has changed names. But anyway, they were talking about how Bill Rogers used to have a jar of mayonnaise next to the bed. And he would wake up in the middle of the night hungry. He would just scoop a couple of scoops of mayonnaise and then go back to bed. And I just want to be like, true or false? You used to wake up in the middle of the night and just scoop mayonnaise. And I just see what Bill Rogers says. You know what I mean? Yeah. Luis Becerra says, that's exactly how I tell my wife when more running stuff comes in the mail. Did I order that? I don't remember. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember ordering it. It's been a while. It did kind of take a while, but it was a pre-order situation, so that's how things go. All right, let's get to this one. I kind of forgot that I had ordered these, and then when it came from an address that I didn't recognize, So I was like, I don't even know what this is. What did I say yes to? You know what I mean? So, yeah, but here. Oh, wait, is this what I? This is what I ordered. All right, there's 3 things in here. Check it out. It's a ginger runner hat with runner. So it's a ginger plus runner hat, ginger. But yeah, look at this. Look at these colors. He always just has such a great eye for color. But this is amazing. Excited. I do like runner hats. And yeah, this one's going to be cool. I like the touches of pink along the brim here. I like it. Calvin says, perfect for the tiger claw. That's definitely where I'm going to wear these for sure. Is that like wearing your, you guys maybe you can tell me about the etiquette at a trail race. If I'm wearing ginger runner stuff to the tiger claw, is that lame? Is that like wearing the band t-shirt to the concert? You guys will have to let me know. I don't think it will be, but I also feel like it's super lame when people are like, I can't believe you wore the band t-shirt to the band concert. I'm like, where else am I going to wear it? I don't know. That's what I think. Let's try this on. There we go. I like that. Yeah. This looks good. Great colors. And then I also got 2 neck gaiters. So I think some of my favorite ones are the ones that Ginger Runner designed. Let's take a look at these. You know what I love about neck gaiters is like whenever they sell neck gaiters, they always have like all the different ways. They always tell you about all the different ways you can use your neck gaiter. You could wear it as a hat. You could wear it as a sweat band, like a sweatband on your wrist. You can wear them to cover your mouth. You could wear it to cover, to put ice in it or whatever. They always do that. They never just are like, here's a neck gaiter. You don't get that for like a bandana. And then this one I think is gorgeous. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at that. And again, the color work. Really, really nice. And then this one, let me show you. Richard Wilson says, "Don't you're not lame. Just don't wear the race shirt at the race." I see. Yeah, I feel like if you want to wear that, I'm okay with that too for people. And here's the other one, which I feel like is more like tiger claw themed. But I don't know that I'll need to wear a neck gaiter at that race. It's in the summer. But yeah, there we go. So cool. And that's the merch for today. I had 2, so that's fun. It all kind of came in at the same time. Mark Peterson says that we call those people current race apparel wearers. See, I feel like here's the reason why I think it's kind of cool to. I mean, I don't do it, but if you wanted to, here's why I think it's acceptable. One, like, because then everyone in your group, if you're running with a group, will have the same shirt, right? So that's kind of fun. And then also, if you want your picture taken and maybe used as like the ad for next year, some people would hate that. Some people would think that'd be super fun. Then you definitely want to, or maybe just want to be in like make the accounts, like the race account, make their Instagram page. wear the shirt. That's an easy way to do it. Not easy, but an easier way to do it, you know? And Getting to Run says, people wear football jerseys to football games. That's true. They certainly do. Shannon says, hey, GoFamzy, did you guys already mention Paul Chalima running his first marathon at the trials? You know, on Relay, we were like, is he even running? And we weren't even sure if he was running. We knew he had a qualifying time, but I didn't even know if he's running. But then I saw him post something on Instagram today, but it wasn't along the lines of, you know, getting ready for Orlando. So I'm not even sure. I don't know. I guess I have to read more about it. But he's super fast. And we did talk about him on the podcast. But there's kind of like a big dog, little dog thing going on with Paul Chalimo and Luis Orta Luis, you know. So, which I think is fun. Yeah, Richard Wilson says, the only real reason I avoid race shirts on race day is the nothing new rule. Some race shirts need washing to get rid of the new shirt smell. That's true as well. And for my daughter, who has a lot of allergies, but also eczema, which is probably related to her allergies, we generally wash things first before she puts things on, because there might have been, something in it when they treated and like created the garment that may need some washing out, that kind of thing. So someone says, where'd it go? Sean says, wear your Boston jacket to Tiger Class. That'd be pretty funny. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to need a jacket. Am I going to need a jacket for that race? It's in May, right? But I don't know. I have to start. I haven't done any research on the race. I just know that it's probably going to be harder than I can handle. I'll just be happy to finish. But you know what's interesting is Drew Whitcomb was telling me that for Atlanta, they have a thing where they used to give you the shirt. A lot of races give you the shirt when you get your bib, right? Chicago Marathon, for example, does that. You pick up your bib, then you walk all the way through the expo hall, and at the end, you get your gear check bag and your t-shirt. Drew said they had to stop doing that for a Peachtree Road race because people would sign up for the race, get the shirt, and then not run it. And so to make sure that people actually only wore the shirt if they ran it, they put the t-shirt pickup after the finish line, which I was like, whew, they're serious about it over there in Atlanta. But you know who else does that? Houston. You don't get your t-shirt because it's not a Houston like half marathon, or it's not a Houston marathon shirt. It's a Houston half marathon finisher shirt. You don't get that until after the race, So it's just interesting. Mark Peterson says, oh man, New York City shirt distribution was a nightmare this year. Only smalls left with a day and a half of the expo left. Yeah, I thought that was interesting that a couple of very big races had some major problems dealing with inventory at the races. So Tokyo had a really big problem. And I guess now New York, I hadn't heard about that before. But I mean, those are two of the majors. In Tokyo, ASICS was telling us that like they underestimated how much demand there would be because it was the first one. There was a Tokyo Marathon the year before, but it was a pros only kind of marathon. And then this year was the first one it was open again. And so there was just a lot of pent up excitement for anything at the expo that said Tokyo Marathon on it. And so like they got slammed the first day. And so the second day they had to implement like a, one in, one out, kind of like at a bar or a club kind of situation, where to manage the number of people that were there. It was a lot. but I didn't know that happened in New York too. And I wonder why that would have been, because that situation is a little bit different. Mark says that at Grandma's, the finisher shirt are also at the finish. I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all, in fact. Like I know at CIM, they give you those water bottles at the end, which I always thought was nice. I lost one of my water bottles, by the way. That new Camelback. No. Which is it? That new Ultimate Direction Pack. I had 2 water bottles in it. One on each side in the back, not in the front part, but in the back. And I think I must have kicked it or something like that while I was getting it in and out from underneath the seat in front of me on the plane. And I lost one of my CIM finisher water bottles. So that was a bummer. John Burchett Sharp says Manchester in the UK is the same about the t-shirt. You got to really, really earn it. See, I'm fine with but then again, I guess if it's a finisher shirt versus like a shirt for the race. I feel like I'm very happy to give away the shirt if I were a race director. that'd be a guaranteed way to make running not fun for me, is to make me a race director. But if I were, I would say I'd get a race shirt, give it to you before the race. The medal is for when you finish, That's how I think about it. Brett McIntyre says, I'm starting to be a big fan of races that give non-shirt items for entering races. Houston's towel is sweet. That towel is really great. I like that. I could go for towels. Towels, yeah. Towels I can bring to the beach, to the lake. I can use them in my car when I got sweaty butt, I don't want to get the seat all wet after a run. So many things you could do with a towel. But then Calvin says, what about with Philly if you run out of medals? If you were going to run out of medals, you probably also ran out of shirts if you were a finisher shirt race, So that's the other thing. I don't know how you solve for that problem, because you certainly don't want extra medals, right? But I don't know. I just feel like you should at least order as many medals as there are entrants. No? Maybe they opened up more entries later, and I just don't know how that happens, Nubetra says, Jeff Dengate just posted about that new Diodora race shoe that Believe in the Run did a first look video on it this week. Did you get any Diodora stuff to test? No one from Diodora has ever reached out to me. I've never tried to reach out to them. I was talking to someone. It wasn't Diodora though. At TRE, there were these 2 Italians that came up to me and they're like, Confusi, we love your videos. We thought it was great when you were in it, because I was in Italy over the summer. We loved your Italian content. How come you never reviewed Diodora? And I'm like, they never asked to send stuff to me. I mean, I'm one of the easiest people to find. I'm on the internet, so. Yeah, so it's one of those things where I should probably reach out for it. I've always been a little bit on the fence about Diodora. I wasn't sure if they were really in it. Just kind of like Puma in the beginning. I was like, are they really going to be here for real or not? They're here now, but like Diodora, I wasn't sure. And everything kind of looked like a Hoka to me at the beginning. And I was like, I don't know what's going on here. But this new shoe sounds very promising. So. Andrew Scott says, doesn't New York City do a hooded poncho at the finish? It seems like a clutch post-race item. That is one of the best post-race items. I love that. Tokyo also has like a poncho towel. So like it fits over you. It's short sleeve and it comes down low below the waist. And then it's all towel and it's a hoodie and it says Tokyo Marathon on the back. It's the best. I love it. Eric Vaj says, I wish grandmas gave finishers a hot dish and a yeah, sure, you betcha from the honorary race grandma. You know what they could also do? They could have a meat raffle at the end. You come through and you finish. If you want to play in the meat raffle, you put your medal down and you bet. That's a game that I would love to see. you know what I mean? That'd be fun. So, so like you can either get a hot dish or you could play the meat raffle. Big stakes, literally. And steaks, get it? Homonyms. Anyway, that's fine. Haley Anderson said, see, I ended the post-race backpacks this year, and it was awesome. That was really cool. I thought it was super fun. But you know what was weird? There was a time where, because I was standing in the finishing chute, and waiting for people to come through. And there was a point where people were confused. And they were saying you can either elect for, I don't know, I don't think it lasted too long. But you could get either a medal or you could get a backpack. But they're like, you can't take both. And I was like, that's a tough choice. I don't know. Eric says, Grandma's was so fun. I did it last year. That's a fun race. I just wish it were easier to get to. It's hard to get up to Duluth. And then it's hard to stay there, too. You know? I don't know. Oh, Andrew Escobedo says that happens during the hot dash race that is held in March in Minneapolis. Hot dish and a meat raffle. Mark Peterson, is this a real thing? I need some backup from another Minneapolis person. There's a race called the Hot Dash. That's perfect. Hot dish and a meat raffle afterwards. I don't know. I've never been to a meat raffle. I'm aware of them. I'd like to go to one at some point. I think that'd be fun. Adam says, Duluth is only an 8-hour drive from Chicago. Yeah, but 8 hours is just long enough where it's like, it's kind of a far drive. And then if you're flying, it's very expensive to fly to Duluth. And the closest you're going to get is to Minneapolis from Chicago. And that only cuts off 4 of the hours or 5 of the hours of driving, So it's just like, neither of those options is great. It'd be amazing if there were a train that just went from Chicago to Duluth. It could stop in Minneapolis. Maybe it stops in like Madison, Minneapolis, and then Duluth. I wish there were more trains. Eric says, Duluth is not built for that many people. I feel like it is, though. It's a huge tourist town. I mean, like, in terms of, like, in the summer, like, lake life stuff, outdoorsy stuff. And then there's fishing. I'm assuming hunt. You know what I mean? I feel like Grandma's is probably not even the biggest draw for Duluth all year long. There's probably other things that are bigger draws. And I'm just like, where do people stay? Why is it like this? Oh. Eric says, Hot Dash is indeed a race. Many people wear flannel. Performance flannel from Rabbit, maybe? Maybe I'll wear that. Stevie76 says, just take an Uber. How much do you think that would cost? Eric says, they open the college dorms near Duluth, but they fill up fast. Thankfully, I know someone there and crashed with them. Yeah, see, I feel like I've heard about the dorm situation, too. I don't know. I was thinking about, like, is there a way I can rent an RV and stay somewhere with the RV? But I've heard even that space fills up fast, Mixtape Tony says, I get off work in an hour, and I plan on driving 8 hours from Austin to New Orleans right when I clock out. Is it that close? I feel like that feels like it should be farther than that. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't know, but you would know. You're driving it, but I just have no idea how far apart things are. in Texas. I had to go to work. I had to go to Marshall, Texas for work one time. You fly into Shreveport, Louisiana. No, not Louisiana. Alabama. Where's Shreveport? What's adjacent to Texas on the east side? That state. You fly into that state. My flight got in late at night, and I was worried because my flight arrived after the Hertz location at the airport closed. So I called them up, and I was like, "Hey, my flight doesn't get until like 9:30, but you guys close at like 7. Am I still gonna be able to get this car? Like it let me reserve it." And they're like, "Oh yeah, you'll be fine. Just come to the desk." And I was like, "But you guys will be closed?" He's like, "Yes." "But you want me to come to the desk?" "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." So I go, and I'm calling up the number for the location. I don't know who I ended up talking to because there was no one it was one of those things. It's a small airport where even then it was odd that like the Hertz location was in the terminal. Normally you have to like leave the airport. That's how they make airports now. You leave to go to like the car rental center. This is a small enough airport where it was all there. And I'm like looking around. Weather was terrible. A lot of flights got canceled. So like all the cars were getting snatched up. All the other car rental desks that were open, lines were like 15 people deep. And I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to get to Marshall, Texas today." So I call up and they're like, "Did you look behind the desk?" And I'm like, "Look behind the desk?" They're like, "Just walk around." And I'm walking around, and there was a door to get behind the desk, like one of those little half doors. And there was a pair of keys just on the ground, on the floor, behind the desk at the Hertz thing. And I'm like, "Is this for me?" And they're like, "Yeah, those are your keys. It's been there the whole time." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks." So I just grab these keys it feels like I'm trespassing, but I pick up the keys from this, the lights are all off, no one's there. Most of the lights are off in the airport, I'm like, okay. So I pick up the keys and then I just hit the button and there's a car out there waiting for me. No one like checked me out or like did anything like that. That was it. I just walked out with a car. Anyone could have walked out with that car, but it was me. And then when I returned the car, I'm trying to remember. Did that trial end early? No, that trial went all the way. But I returned the car, same situation. It was closed. So I call up and I'm like, "Is there a key drop off box or a lock box where I could drop off the keys?" They're like, "Just toss it back there." So I just threw the keys on the floor to return it. It was just so bizarre. Mark Peterson says, "That's so wild. It just didn't make any sense." Andrew Scott says, "Co stole a car." I gave it back. Yeah. Steve McKellar says, "Wow, I don't think that would work for me." I didn't think it was going to work for me, Steve, either. I know what you mean, though. I hear what you're saying. Calvin Hong, "Today I stole a car." That would be a fun YouTube. I should have made a YouTube video about that. I wasn't making work YouTube videos back then. Calvin says, "Get ready with me committing Grand Theft Auto." New Petra says, "This feels like a scene from Better Call Saul." Adam says, "Did you even rent the car?" Yeah, I mean, I paid. I got my car credit card got charged for it. I paid for it with gas. Lee says there's no papers, nothing for that rent a car. Wow, it was all in the car, like in the glove box. It was all in there. Yeah. Steve says, "Oh, that's how they stick it to you with the damage on your car charge." Yeah, no, I always take pictures. I think we had phones at that point. I'm pretty sure I would have already gotten into the habit of taking pictures of the car. Because then if you take pictures on your iPhone or any phone, it's time stamped, so. So if you want to steal a car, fly into Shreveport. Schedule a flight that lands after hours. Joho says, "This is the #1 live stream on how to steal a rental car." One time I rented a car and it was supposed to be for like 10 days. It's going to be a long trial. I was going to be down in Springfield for it. And I must have done it wrong because after 3 days, I kept getting calls from Hertz, but I was like, I'm like in courtrooms, I'm working all day, working all night. And I'm just like ignoring all the calls until eventually, like they called like 3 times in a row. We happened to be like on lunch break and I'm like, what is going on? What's up? And they're like, we just wanted to make sure we knew where the car was because we're about to report it stolen. I'm like, why? I have this car for another 5 days. And they're like, no, you don't. You were supposed to return it 3 days ago or whatever, you know? And I was like, oh, what date did I say that I was going to give this back? I'm like, oh, can we extend that? They're like, oh yeah, no problem. Extended. It's done. I was like, okay. Calvin says, this is like the same energy as my local Fleet Feet. Encouraged me to run up and down the street outside, test the shoes. And Matt says, I did come here today, indeed, to the channel, hoping to learn how to steal a car from Shreveport. Yeah. Fun times. Business travel is weird, guys. Yeah, I didn't love it. Oh, speaking of business travel, I flew a lot last year. And I managed to, for most of my flights, if I wasn't booking it, I was able to get like whoever was paying for the travel to book United for me. So I flew all my miles in United, almost all my miles in United last year. And I made it up to platinum. There's gold, silver, gold, platinum, right? And then I think there's 2 tiers above that. 1 tier, 2 tiers. I don't know. There's something above that. Premier 1K is above that. I've never been a flight status collector before. We used to fly Southwest all the time because where we used to live, it was either just get on Lakeshore Drive and then hop out to Midway. So we just would fly Southwest all the time. But out here, it's easier for us to fly out of O'Hare, so we've been flying United. And I got an email from United saying like, hey, you can upgrade yourself to Premier 1K status. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting because 1K gets to board before Group 1. I think it's like right after people that military in uniform. Then it's like Premier 1K. So I'm like, oh, I wonder what that costs. I don't really care about that stuff that much, but let's see. So they're like, click on the link to see what your upgrade options are. Let's do this. Let's do this one. We'll end this with a little mini trivia today. How much do you think United wanted me to pay to upgrade from platinum, which is what I had flown last year? That's what I had kind of earned, I guess. So how much does it cost to get from platinum to bump yourself up to Premier 1K? Any guesses on what that costs? All right, Daniel says 3,000. Steve says 1,500. Frank says 6,000. And Stevie76 says 1,492. You guys are all off. I clicked on that link, and in all seriousness, United asked me to pay $10,600 to upgrade myself for a year to Premier 1K. Can you? Why would anyone? Why are people paying that? I mean, I know you'll be the first, if there's a first class seat open, you'll get upgraded to that, like that kind of thing. But like 10,000, you know how many miles they wanted for that? Or that was like, or miles. If I had a million frequent flyer miles, I could have also done it that way. Brian Albrecht. So did you do it? No, I did not. I did not do it. Yeah, Joe is like, if you were Premier 1K, you get the whole can of pop. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Mark Peters says 1 million. It was like $10,600 or like 1,069,000 miles. David says, "Hey, I said 10K." Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't do that one. The last flight that I was on, maybe not the last flight, but relatively recently, like while the flight was in the air, it was like nighttime. Lights were all off. They woke everybody up and were like, just want to let you know, we have a very important flyer with us today. So-and-so has flown 1 million miles. We'll cross that 1 million miles flown barrier on this flight today. Let's give them a round of applause, folks. And I was like, what are you guys doing? People are weird about flights. I don't know where people are going. I don't know why they're traveling so much. I don't know how they're amassing this many miles. It's a whole different world. I don't know. I don't know what it was. And people were like, what? Clapping for this guy. It was bizarre. I'm like, you must never see your family if you've flown 1 million miles. That's so much. So much. Yeah. Calvin said 1 million in a year or in a lifetime. I think it was a lifetime 1 million mile flyer, you know. But yeah. Oh, Martha said, when I hit 1 million, you had 1 million miles on United? They just handed me a nice card on the plane. Would you have preferred if they woke up and everyone up in the middle of the night? That's just a lot. It's so much. David DeFrange says, Up in the Air is a great film with George Clooney about someone who cares about the miles. My wife used to care about the miles a lot. She used to work for Arthur Anderson way back in the day when that was a thing. And so like all of her and her coworkers would go on, I forget what they called them, but like basically they would just spend a day and a half on the weekend and be in an airplane. And they'd be like, oh, I just flew to LA and connected into San Francisco and then connected into Denver and then New York and now I'm back home. I was like, why? And like, it was cheaper than buying the miles and then I would get upgraded to the next thing. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, it's a thing. We do it. I'm like, okay. Yeah, it was weird. Someone was saying, commenting on this film, Up in the Air, which I've seen before. It's really fun. But do you guys know the premise of the movie? The premise of the movie is they fly a lot because he's the person that goes around and fires people in person, right? So like if you need to fire a bunch of people, do a bunch of layoffs, and you don't want to get your hands dirty, you hire this consultant, and then he would come in, George Clooney would come in, and he would fire all your people for you. I believe, it's been a long time, but I believe that's what it is. But anyway, the person that was talking about this, I think it was in Threads, was just like, can you believe how quaint of an idea that is? That premise wouldn't even make sense. Because now it's an all hands town hall and like they'll tell you over Zoom, if you got an email in the last 30 minutes, that means you're fired. Sorry. You know what I mean? That's how they fire people now. They just don't care. Weird. Kubang says, I thought it was about basketball. Air Up There is about basketball and Kevin Bacon and the Maasai tribe. Air Bud is the basketball movie with the dog that plays basketball. Easy to confuse them all. Have the same word in there, but 3 different movies. All right. That's going to be it for today, guys. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Monday will be the Rebel 4 review, and it'll be the one of only 2 live streams for the week. So make sure you tune in. And Monday or Tuesday, we'll figure out hopefully I'll have a better idea of my schedule for Friday, of stuff that I can tell you about or stuff that I'm doing. Maybe we can figure out a time to go run together if you're going to be in Orlando, around the lake. A lot of dry heaving. I'll bring a whistle. Okay. All right. Enjoy your runs this weekend. Be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.